Children, how are you? Today we learn about calculating with upper and lower bounds. Calculating with upper and lower bounds. In the previous class, I said how to find out the upper and lower bound of a single number. Today we learn about how to find out upper and lower bound of a product. Okay, so I'm taking a problem like this. See, 34 into 65. This is the given problem. Okay, so you should find out the upper and lower bound of a problem. Okay, of this problem. Okay, for this, first we should see 34 and 65 separately. Okay, first we find out the upper and lower bound of 34. Next we find out upper and lower bound of 65. Okay, separately we find out. Afterwards we do the next process. Okay, first, yesterday already in the previous class I said, if it is a whole number, so to become the next number 35, what is the difference between 34 and 35? 1. So your D is what? 1. So D by 2 equal to half, that is 0.5. So no, this 34 should decrease to 33, means the difference is 1. You want to increase by next number, means should add 1. So the difference is, you want to decrease or increase, difference is only 1. For 65 is also difference is 1. So here D by 2 is half for both the numbers. Then this D by 2 is nothing but H, means half the value of accuracy. H means half the value of accuracy. Now I am saying this 34 lies in the range, means the lower and upper bound we are writing 33.5 less than or equal to 34, which is less than 34.5, because D by 2 means the half of the accuracy is 0.5. So 34 lower bound is this and 34 upper bound is this. Lower bound we are subtracting this 0.5 from 34, and to get this is upper bound. To get upper bound we are adding 0.5 to 34. So this is the range. Okay, similarly 65 lies in the range 65 minus 0.5 means 64.5 less than or equal to 65, less than, you should add 0.5 to 65 means 60.5. This is lower bound and this is upper bound. So for both the numbers we got lower bounds and upper bounds. Okay, now the product of 34 and 65 we are taking. So lower bound of 34 into 65 is, both the lower bounds you should multiply, that's all. 33.5 into 64.5. 33.5 into 64.5. If you take the product, you get the value, that is 2160.75. Okay, next, upper bound of again 34 into 65 is, just you take the product of both the upper bounds, 34.5 into 65.5. Okay, 34.5 into 65.5. 5. So 34.5 into 64.5. 65.5. The value is 2259.75. Okay. You should calculate the upper and lower bound of 34 into 65 means this is the way of doing the problem. This is the process. First take the lower and upper bounds of 34. Next take the lower and upper bounds of 65. Next lower bound of given problem, upper bound of the calculation means given problem. This given problem is nothing but your calculation. Okay. So this is lower bound and this is upper bound. Okay. Next one more bit, one more model we'll take. One more model we'll see. That is I am taking 14 into 20. Again you should find out the upper and lower bounds of 14 into 20. So here also this 14 will become 15 by adding 1. Here also 20 will become 21 by adding 1. Means what is the difference? That is 1. So your d by 2 is half, that is 0.5. This is your h, half of the accuracy. So now your 14 lies, this 14 lies in the range. The 14 lies in the range. What is that? So 0.5 you subtract from 14 and 0.5 you add to 14 means 13.5 less than or equal to 14 less than 14.5. Okay. Next 20 lies in the range. In the range. This is lower bound. This is upper bound. Okay. Similarly 20 0.5 we are subtracting means 19.5 less than or equal to 20 less than 20.5. Okay. This is lower bound. This is upper bound. Okay. Now you have to take the lower bound of this product means now see lower bound of 14 into 20, that is just you take the both the products, both the lower bound products, 13.5 into 19.5. Okay, 13.5 into 19.5 means the product you should take. So 13.5 into 19.5, that is 263.25. Okay. Next upper bound of 14 into 20 means you should take the product of both the upper bounds of 14 and 20. Okay. So 14.5 into 20.5. 14.5 into 20.5, that is 297.25. Okay, this is the answer. So lower bound and upper bound, lower bound and upper bound. One more problem explaining, you see. One more problem I am taking. This time I am taking a division. So division I am taking 40 divided by 10. 40 divided by 10 I am taking. So don't do, madam, I can cancel, then I will get 4. No, madam. For 4 I will find out the lower and upper bound. No. 4 whole number, 4 number lower upper bound is different, and 40 by 10 lower and upper bound is different. Okay. So don't do this. Don't do the cancellation and do the problem. Okay. 40 divided by 10 means 40 divided by 10. That's all. Okay. So for this also separately we find out lower and upper bounds. Okay. Here also 40 will become 41 by adding 1. 10 will become 11 by adding 1. So what is your difference? Difference is 1 and your d by 2 is half, that is 0.5. This is your h. H means half of the accuracy. Half of the accuracy means in the formula we will write like this. Lower bound means, see, lower bound means 40 minus h. Upper bound means 40 plus h, like this formula. Okay, so for the denominator, lower bound means 10 minus h, upper bound means 10 plus h, like that. Okay, so that is half of the accuracy. So your what is the range of 40? Okay, 40 lies in which range? 40 lies in, so 0.5 you are subtracting, means 39.5 less than or equal to 40, less than 40.5. Okay, so your 10 lies in which range? 9.5 less than or equal to 10, less than 10.5, less than 10.5. Okay, so now what is, okay, this is 40, this is 10, this is 10. Now you should find out the lower bound of 40, lower bound of 40. Now lower bound of, not 40 by 10, it's not 40, 40 divided by 10 equal to, now you see here, you should find out the lower bound of 40 divided by 10. In such type of divisions are there, then so you take the lower bound of this division, lower bound divided by upper bound of the denominator, lower bound of the numerator divided by the upper bound of the denominator you should take. Then only you will get the lower bound of 40 by 10, because already we know when denominator increases, the whole value of the fraction will decrease. When denominator increases, the whole value of the fraction what? Decreases. When denominator decreases, the whole value of the fraction increases. So in the same way, so 39.5 divided by 10.5 equal to 39.5 divided by 10.5 equal to 3.7619 something. So we take the first two decimals, 3.76. We take the first two decimals, 3.76. Okay, so for upper bound, to find out the upper bound means, you want the upper bound means upper bound of 40 by 10 means, so what to do? Now you should take upper bound divided by lower bound. Okay, upper bound of the numerator divided by lower bound of the denominator. Okay, so this value is 40.5 divided by 9.5 equal to 4.2631 something you will get. Okay, first two decimals will take 4.26. This is 4.26. Okay, so this is the way of doing the problem. So product means directly we take the product of two lower bounds and directly we take the product of two upper bounds. So coming to the division, division means division is different compared to what? The product, multiplication. Because of that, you want to take the lower bound of any fraction means lower bound of any fraction value is lower bound of the numerator by upper bound of the denominator. That is lower bound of any fraction. Next, upper bound of any fraction is upper bound of the numerator by lower bound of the denominator. So in this we will find out the upper and lower bounds of a given product or a um, division. Okay, so coming to the next problem, next model I am taking. See, next model. One more clarification I want to give. See, so just now I said note. Just now I said what will happen if we cancel 40 divided by the same problem is there. If I cancel 0 and Jan, we will get the value 4. Madam, for 4 we can take the lower and upper bounds. No, okay, we'll see. The 4 will become 5 when? By adding 1. So your D is 1, D by 2 is half, means 0.5. Okay. So the 4 lies in between what? You tell me. So 3.5 less than or equal to 4 less than 4.5. See, if you cancel the fraction, you get 4. Your lower bound is 3.5 and your upper bound is 4.5. Okay, your lower bound is 3.5, your upper bound is 4.5. But coming to here, your lower bound is 3.76 and upper bound is 4.26. See the difference. Okay, so accurate value means accurate value only. This is an whole number. This is a fraction, 40 by 10. Okay, if you go for cancellation, you get the same value 4. But while doing the upper and lower bounds, you will get the different values. See, for 4, lower bound is 3.5, upper bound is 4.5. But for 40 by 10, lower bound is 3.76 and upper bound is 4.26. Okay, so because of that I said, if they are giving the fraction like that, just you take the fraction in this as it is and do the problem and one more bit I am going to take. You see, one more bit, that is, see, now I'll take next quote, 12 into 65 divided by 16 I am taking. Here in this problem, in the numerator we have the product, in the denominator we have an whole number. Okay, but here we can take 12 into 65, we take the product. That product divided by 16 can we do, madam? No, don't do like that, because your lower and upper bounds values will may change. Because of that, take the problem as it is. 12 into 65 means first take the product, and for this product you find out the upper and lower bound. Okay, first I am taking 12 into 65. Okay, so for 12 and 65 your D value is 1, D by 2 is 0.5. because of the directly I am writing 12 lies in the range 11.5 less than or equal to 12 less than 12.5. Directly I am writing. I think you understood the problem because of that. 65 lies in the range 64.5 less than or equal to 65 less than 65.5. Okay, this is the lower bound, this is the upper bound, lower and upper bound. Okay, now lower bound of the product 12 into 65 is 11.5 into 64.5. just I am taking the product of both the lower bounds. Okay, 11.5 into 64.5. 11.5 into 64.5. The value is 741.75. Okay, next upper bound of, this is upper bound, lower bound, this is upper bound. Upper bound of 12 into 65 is, just you take the products of upper bounds, 12.5 into 65.5. Okay, now 12.5 into 65.5, the value is 818.75. Okay, see, this is the lower bound of the product and this is the upper bound of the product. Now next step number 2. This is step number 1. Okay, step number 2. 16 lies in the range 15.5 less than or equal to 16 less than 16.5. Okay, so this is the lower bound and this is the upper bound. Okay, now lower bound of 12 into 65 by 16 is the whole calculation. So whenever we want the lower bound of a fraction means lower bound of the numerator divided by upper bound of the denominator. 741.75 divided by 16.5. 16.5. That is 741.5 divided by 16.5. So you will get 44.939393 recurring. Okay, so you can take for first two decimals you can round off 44.94. 44.94. Okay, so next upper bound of the fraction or the calculation. Upper bound of the calculation 12 into 65 by 16 is, upper bound means the upper bound of the numerator by lower bound of the denominator. Upper bound of the numerator is 818.75 divided by lower bound is 15.5. 15.5. So 818.75 divided by 15.5, that is 52.822. So means first two decimals 15.82. So sorry, it's not 15, 52. 52.82. Okay, now see the values. So lower bound of the calculation is 44.94. Upper bound of the calculation is 52.82. 52.82. Okay, I'll show if we take the product 12 into 65 what will happen, that also I'll show. Okay, 12 into 65. 12 into 65 value is 12 into 780 divided by 60. Okay, this is the note, means you should not do like this. This you should not do, but I'm showing the difference you should know. Okay, the problem you should do in this way, not in this way, but I'll show. If we take the product, what will happen means, see, 780 is the whole number, means 0.5 is the half of the accuracy. Okay, so 780 lies in the range 779.5 less than or equal to 780 less than 780.5. Okay, 16 lies in the range 15.5 less than or equal to 16 less than 16.5. Okay, now lower bound. Lower bound means what? Lower bound is this 779.5 by upper bound value, denominator's value. So 779.5. See, here itself we got the difference. Here if we take the separate values 12 and 65, the lower bound of 12 into 65 is 741.75. But if you take the product 780, that lower bound is 779.5. Here itself you got the difference. See, lower bound of 12 into 65 is 741.75. But 780's lower bound is 779.5. Here itself we got the difference. So upper bound of 12 into 65 is 818.75. But upper bound of the numerator is 780.5. See the difference. And also, here also I will explain. See, after the division what will happen. 779.5 divided by 16.5 equal to 47.24. 47.24. What about the upper bound? Upper bound means upper bound value divided by lower bound value, because this is the fraction. Okay. So 780.5 divided by 15.5. 50.35. The value is 50.35. See the whole calculation after completing the whole calculation, lower bound of the fractional value is 44.94, but here 47.24. Upper bound of this value is 52.82, but here upper bound of the value is 50.35. Because of this, so please do not go for any product value or any cancellation thing. Please don't go. Whatever the problem, as it is, you take it, whether it is addition or subtraction or multiplication or division, directly you take it and do the problem. Directly you take it and do the problem, and don't do any other calculation like product or cancellation, anything. Okay, so this is not the way of doing the problem. This is the way of doing the problem. Just I want to show the difference between this and that. Because of that, I did the other type of calculation also. Okay, so next model I will show. See, next model I will explain. That is one more bit. So let it be is another problem. Okay, so for 44 by 3 square, here also see 44 by 3 square. So madam, can we take 44 by 9? No, don't. Okay, no, don't take the product. As it is, we will take. Okay, as it is, we will take. So because of that, what will we do? 44 by 3 square means 44 by 3 into 3. That is 3 square, no? 3 into 3. So by taking this problem in this way, we will do the problem. Okay, so this is your homework. So tomorrow I'll explain. Okay.